afternoon, everyone. It's your girl Salvaje here with Jasleen to bring you this week's Wild Report, a weekly show where we recap all of the hottest Heroes of the Storm news, tea, and everything in between. How are you doing today, Jazzy?
Hey Salvaje, I'm doing great. Week 5 of CCL just wrapped up and there are some pretty entertaining matches. The standings going into the weekend meant that the top 4 teams were playing each other and the bottom 4 teams were going to be playing each other as well, setting the stage for some competitive and close matches. We also had some roster changes announced over the last week. Some of those teams are looking a little different over the weekend. Before we get into the matches though, CCL addressed the disconnect issues we saw in last Sunday's match between Oxygen and 30K. They've made a rule adjustment that reads, if a player disconnects from a match and is unable to reconnect to the lobby, a remake may be requested if the game clock is 3 minutes or less. If the game is 3:01 into the match and beyond, a remake will not be permitted and the match must be played out with a bot. The disconnected player must show video or screenshot proof that they are unable to reconnect to the lobby for a remake request to be considered. All remake requests are subject to CCL administrator approval. And now, on to the matches. On Saturday, the weekend kicked off with 30K, who had yet to drop a single series, playing against Diamond Hands. Diamond Hands is coming in fresh off of those roster changes we were mentioning before. They released Got Filth and Unaverted to pick up Fancy Pants and Rutso. The series ultimately ended in a 3-1 for 30K, who continue to hold their spot as a top dog in CCL. Diamond Hands has to get that synergy going and pull out a crazy strong showing if they have any hope in avoiding the gauntlet run now. And even then, it could come down to how the other teams perform.
For the second match of the day, Simplicity took on Granite Gaming. This was probably the best Simplicity has looked all season. They were finally able to pull out some map wins and kicked off the series with 2 wins in a row. However, going into Game 3, Granite found their momentum and had no intention of stopping. Granite Gaming takes the series in a 3-2 fashion, making it the first reverse sweep of the season. In the post-game interview, SMX seems pretty confident that Granite is the best team if they go to LAN. Getting to LAN is going to be a huge challenge. With 1 win going into week 6, they're going to have to really push forward and work hard for that 4th place spot and qualify, and I'm excited to see it. Following the series, Porky, the offlaner for Simplicity, tweeted this: "Feels awful having come so close to winning our first CCL series and getting reverse swept. Communication and team synergy have improved a lot with the addition of Tiger, so hopefully our first series win comes next week. Copium. Mental giant incoming." I see that there's sarcasm in this tweet. However, I'm really happy to learn that the synergy is growing between the members of Simplicity, and with the addition of Tiger JK going so well. With the fire and these 2 teams burning the brightest we've seen this whole season, this gauntlet is gonna be a good one.
Heading into Sunday, the matches kicked off with WildHeart taking on Chili Mountain. This match was an important match and to really get an understanding of where Chili Mountain falls in skill. They had yet to play any of the top teams in the standings and had only dropped 1 series to Oxygen so far this season. They'd been performing well in Masters Clash, and now was their time to prove that they could bring it in CCL, and they did just that. Chili Mountain was able to take game 1 and 2, drafting comps around Sergeant Hammer and Tracer before WildHeart decided enough is enough and banned them out. WildHeart was able to pull out a win in Game 3, but unfortunately fell to Chili Mountain in Game 4. Chili Mountain looks like a team that thrives on big macro maps, and it showed in this series. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the match. It's very well played there by Dequaza. Bruiser camp up and available still 20 seconds here on Sergeant Hammer's death timer, so this is a 5v4. WildHeart is trying to take all that they can on this map. Masquerade's not letting them have it though. In comes the Sanctification. Mason Blaze is on the point, gets the D shield. They're going to be able to get out. Uses those Banshees to reposition, and Haven is now on this point. Bunker dropped on Blaze. Let's see if they can find this camp, and they are going to be able to walk away there. That was looking really scary. Bottom lane. In return though, Ivy Tangs and Weary Day are getting some damage onto that mid fort. Hope they can get out of here though. They are really overextended. Weary Day popping some heals onto Ivy Tangs. Dino sitting on Ivy, getting chunked out. There's the cleanse. Oh, Weary, yes! Even Weary Day kind of acting as that front line to stop them from going in to contest. Oil drop there from Zergling.
The auto tech speed slow onto the Sergeant Hammer, so every time she walks in there and walks out, still has the auto tech speed reduced. They got the cocoon on the Sergeant Hammer. Here come the pings. There's nice high fives there, but we get the burrow charge on the Masquerade, who doesn't have mana at all, and no Sanctification. Tracers on the backside. Dino, he's gonna come looking. Pulse Bomb does miss, and you know, I love how patient Weary Day is with his D shield. He's not concerned at all. Oh, Hayden's in there though.
They're going in for to go through top. Can Urel create enough space here for Sylv and Dino to end the game? Or Dino and Banana to end the game? I don't think so. There is an attempt. It's a good try. Yep. It's gonna be WildHeart taking game number 3 of the series.
Man, I really wanted us to pull through here for the reverse sweep, but I'm not worried at all about our guys. They have strong mentals, and with Zergling on vacation, he's gonna be super well rested to boost the team up for this upcoming weekend. The second series of the day took place on Sunday with Oxygen versus Storm. Oxygen has had some roster changes last week as well, dropping Rutzo and acquiring Cascon. From sources, Cascon has been working with Oxygen for a little while now, so not too much has changed for the all-round team. They're coming in looking just as strong in this series. Storm kicks it off, looking strong and taking game 1, but things start to get a little more challenging from there. Game 2 was very close with Oxygen coming out with the win. Oxygen takes game 3 and game 4 concluded in a little over 10 minutes. An unfortunate loss for Storm, but it does keep Oxygen in the game for avoiding the gauntlet run, if they can pull out wins in the next couple of weekends.
Speaking of gauntlet runs, let's talk a little bit about the standings and which matches are very important going into week 6 of CCL. Currently, we have 30K holding on to the number 1 spot, yet to drop a single series this season, with Chili Mountain in second having only dropped 1 series so far. Next weekend, they'll be put to the test as they face off against each other. Regardless of whether 30K wins or loses, it's fair to predict that they will not be in the gauntlet, and we will be seeing them at LAN, as their only other series they have yet to play is against Granite. At worst, they likely end the season in first or second if Chili Mountain can take the win off them this weekend. This series is much more important to Chili Mountain, who needs the wins if they want to avoid the gauntlet.
Sitting in third place is WildHeart with 3-2 match wins to losses. Their toughest matches are out of the way, and they have one of the easier runs to end the season off. They still have to face Granite Gaming next weekend, followed by Storm in week 7. If they can secure those wins, it could simply come down to map wins on who will be grabbing those top, second, or third spots to avoid the gauntlet. In the standings are Oxygen in 4th, followed by Diamond Hands in 5th. They will face each other next week, and this is a very important match for the standings. It will break the 3-2 tie they are both currently at, and likely determine which of these teams is running the gauntlet, and which still has a little bit of hope left to avoid it. If Diamond Hand wins it, their last match being against Chili Mountain is going to be one hell of a series to watch.
Lastly, we have Storm and Granite Gaming in 6th and 7th with a 1-4 match history, and Simplicity sitting in 8th, yet to pick up a win. At this point, it's all but certain that all of these teams will need to run the gauntlet if they have any hope of attending the LAN. The only real question left is who's joining them with that 5th and 4th place position. Will it be Diamond Hands? Oxygen? Does WildHeart or Chili Mountain have some unexpected upsets and fall? Everything is getting so close and tense, and with the LAN on the line, I can't wait to see how the final 2 weeks of CCL are going to play out.
Me too. I can't wait to see how things play out and who ends up at the LAN. But moving away from CCL, matches and standings, let's get into our Meet the Team segment. This week, Jasleen sat down with WildHeart's 6th man, DPS player, and WildHeart Omega alumni, Roger. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Meet the Team segment, and a big welcome to our special guest, Roger, the 6th man for WildHeart. How are you doing today, Roger?
Hello, Jocelyn. I feel pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good day. How about you?
Great. I mean, we just lost our series this weekend, so a little down about that. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. So I always like to kick things off with asking our players a little bit about their HOTS journey. You guys all had different paths to get here today on WildHeart. So let's hear a little bit about yours.
Well, I started playing HOTS beta. I usually like playing MOBA games when I was a kid. The first time I played a MOBA game was League of Legends, but then I stopped playing it because there were a lot of different reasons. The main one is just because of the toxicity. But after that, I started playing some more like World of Warcraft or StarCraft, and I really liked those kind of games. And then when I realized that they were doing a game about heroes, and it was a MOBA game about these heroes, then I started falling in love with that game. So I started giving it a try in beta, and since then I started playing for it. And it was a good experience so far.
And you're also playing from Peru. There's got to be a bit of ping difference happening there. Does that affect at all which heroes you like to play and the choices you have in these games?
Yes, it usually makes it difficult to play with ping. It's mostly because of the internet issues. Like, I think regularly if you have a good internet connection, it's mostly about like 120 between 120 and 140.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's kind of like inconsistency here in Arequipa, especially where I currently live,
Mm-hmm.
it mostly gets like between 160, 180, and sometimes yeah, it gets a little bit like annoyed. I get a
Yeah.
little bit annoyed by that, but then I think like you just have to get used to it. Like as soon as you start playing it, you'll see like there is like a little bit different, but then like it's not like a big deal.
Okay.
So I think yeah, in the end, it's just more about practice and getting used to the ping.
Okay. You're coming onto the CCL roster after being an academy player on WildHeart Omega. How important was that time on WildHeart Omega to your development as a player, and what did you take away from the time spent on the academy team?
Well, I think when I started playing in WildHeart Omega, it was like a good experience. I think I learned a lot when it comes about like playing in a different environment with a different team, and I think I learned a lot about like play styles. I think for me, playing from academy, from different tournaments, especially the HRCS, since you
Mm-hmm.
were like 2 seasons, I think. I think it was such a good experience for me because mostly about the team.
Mm-hmm.
They were all cool. I remember like all the members like Gojira, Fans, Casper, Iron. Like they were all pretty cool about it. Also Whisper the drafter too. Like I think like all of them actually make the team environment really good for me, and I appreciate it for that. So I feel like for me it meant a lot playing in that academy roster. So far, I still thank for it. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good experience.
We got to see your CCL debut in the series against Diamond Hands, and you looked like you were kind of ready to play. How much prep did you have going into the series?
No. Well, I mentioned this too also in the interview in CTR. Before, I think, well, sorry, before the game,
Mm-hmm.
I had like 2 weeks of preparation,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember where he told me that he will have like a surgery in his eyes. So he told me that I should be start. I'm gonna be start playing with the team, in different scrims. So after that, I decided to make a schedule for me so I don't have any issues with the college,
Yeah.
and also having time to play with the roster. And I think like I spent a lot of time playing outside of the screens with the team, also playing on my accounts,
Mm-hmm.
to get used to the ping, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
also like getting used to the synergy with the team. And I think it came out pretty well. I think I did it pretty good. Even though I'll say like there are like a little bit things I could have done better, but overall I seem happy with the result. So
I mean, you
yeah.
walked away with a 3-0. You couldn't really ask for a better result there. Now, we noticed in the CCL interview, and we can see now you have a ton of books and stuff behind you on that bookshelf. You seem to also be a pretty studious person in general, both when it comes to scrims and school. So, what's exactly behind you? Is it textbooks? Is it reading books? What's going on back there?
Well, on my left side, they usually saw some kind of books I started like reading when I was in school. And it was about, I think, anything. It was like anything I wanted to read about fantasies, like maybe some historic books about anything, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe like something like about academic studies. And those on my right, it's mostly about books from college and also from my father.
Okay.
Since he also he studied, sorry, engineering.
Okay.
So he borrowed me some kind of his stuff to help me a little bit more with my studies. And yeah, it's mostly about the academic studies in my right side.
Now, if you don't mind cluing us in a little bit, what are you currently studying? Are you in engineering as well, following your father's footsteps, something completely different?
Just I'm currently studying industrial engineer, and
Okay.
I'm in my sixth cycle. So yeah, I'm a little bit closer to finish it, but yeah,
That's
one step at a
exciting. That
time.
horizon is coming. You can get out of there and get done in school. It'll be the best. I was really happy when I was done myself. Now you're talking about you also had some like fantasy books, other things mixed in there. Are there any books that you highly recommend, or do you have a favorite book or series that you enjoy?
Oof. Uh, oh, that's pretty tough. I think one that I really liked the most, but that was when I was a kid. I think then how you say it in English? I think it's the name is The Name of the Wind. It's about fantasy, and it usually relates about like a one warrior who started like I don't know his journey in different places, fighting could be anything like monsters, dragons, and all that stuff. But I feel like every time that he told the story in a tavern with people like watching him, he always had like a lesson about in life in general that I think you could apply it in your life too. So I think that's one of the books I really like about it.
I like that. I like that answer. All right, last but not least, WildHeart's running their Touch Some Grass campaign, trying to encourage gamers to get outside, get some of that nature soaked up. So is there anything you enjoy doing outside?
Yes, usually when I have some free time, I just go out for a walk, get some fresh air, enjoy the landscape in Arequipa, where I currently live, and I usually use it for meditation. Yeah, for having a good time.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for the Meet the Team segment this week, Roger. Hope to maybe see you picked up in a game or two here before the season ends out. But if not, excited to meet you at the LAN. I'm sure we'll make it, right?
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Roger.
Yeah, thank you, Jocelyn.
Some meditation outside sounds so peaceful and relaxing. It was great to learn a little more about Roger. He's been in the WildHeart family for a while now, and even so, there's always more to learn about a person. Moving on, watch the WildHeart CCL match this weekend, where they will take on Granite Gaming. The matches are going to begin at 2 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday over on the Wisdom channel. Or if you'd like to catch our very own Goon and Jazzy casting, then you can check out Jazzling's channel. Links will be in the description below.
To wrap things up, WildHeart has some cool events throughout the summer. We're currently running our Touch Some Grass campaign to encourage gamers to get outside and experience the nature around them. If you post a picture of yourself doing some stuff outside on Twitter with the hashtag WHTouchSomeGrass, you'll be entered to win a WildHeart t-shirt. One post equals one entry, and you have until September 5th to show us your wild side. Last but not least, make sure to check out the WildHeart pregame party at the Fair on 4 on August 4th at Mall of America. If you plan on attending the LAN, this is a must on your list of things to do. To RSVP, head on over to the WildHeart website at www.wildheartesports.com, link in the description below. That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye!